to the e-app is to establish yourself a login on mutualofomaha's.com website or Mutual of Omaha's website, simply by going to mutualofomaha.com. And this is the home screen that you'll first see when you first land on their site. And the important part to pay attention to is up here in the upper left-hand corner. You want to change that by hitting the down arrow to Sales Professionals from Individual Customers. It will bring up a login screen. And if you haven't already established a login on Mutual of Omaha's website, you'll click on this link here labeled Register. It will take you to the page where you do the all I do's, I won'ts, I promise not to, I promise to stuff. And then it's going to ask you for a registration key, and your registration key is your Mutual of Omaha writing number. And so then you'll set up a login and password, and then you're off to the races. So once you're in their website, and I'm going to jump on it here, you'll be brought to the welcome page of the sales professional, what they call sales professional access. And by the way, I've typed these instructions up as a Word document that I will make sure Tracy gets again for me. And I'll show you that document in just a second here. But you click on Sales Tools. And down here at the bottom, as each of you get on, there's going to be two links. There's going to be the actual e-app itself, and then the e-app sandbox. And the sandbox is where you can go play around, throw around all the sand you want, and you can't hurt it, you can't break it. You can go through any different types of applications you like to go through, and it'll give you a chance to experience the signature process as well.
Really?
Just got a few more people I have to unmute here. Sorry, guys. So again, I've typed these instructions out. And I'm going to show you what they look like. Just a second. Wow, I wasn't expecting such a crowd. This is kind of cool. Okay, so here's a Word document you should see now, where I basically have typed up the instructions here, step by step, on how to get on Mutual's website. Clicking on the Register button if you haven't already established it. Once you're in, going to Sales Professional Access, clicking on the Sales Tools tab. Scroll down, you'll see the two different links. One is the actual live e-app, and the other being the sandbox, and you can play around all you want. And a little added bonus here, I actually put here the link on how to download the standalone quote software from Mutual of Omaha that we developed here in Yakima. Those of you who haven't downloaded it, I would encourage you to download it. Those who already use it, love it. I'm not trying to talk you out of using StrataDecision, but there are some limitations with StrataDecision. The most prominent one is on the Mutual Care Custom. You're limited to pools of money of $25,000, whereas on the standalone version, you can dial it down to $500 increments. It also lays out the rules for what is a legal build for a partnership policy in every state in the country where they have approved partnership. So you don't need to keep a cheat sheet as far as what's legal and what's not. The software will tell you that right away. So once you click on this little tab called LTCi app, it's going to take you to a screen that looks just like this. So you have a chance to start an application or view an application, and this will be on view applications. It will bring up a list of every application that you've done on the site, whether it's complete, incomplete, you're just playing around or whatever. They're already on there. You can start to pre-fill an application prior to an appointment, leave it. It will save everything you've already input. You can come back to it when you do have your appointment. Maybe you filled in all the personal information, as much information you can about your client as possible, and that will just expedite the interview on Join Me just to answer the health questions and get the other blanks filled in on the application. There's about a 30-day window where applications will be saved on here before they start dropping off. But once you've submitted an application and such, then you go into a different part of the Sales Professional Access to view your pending business, or you call us or Lisa or Herman at Golden Care to find out what's going on. But if you're starting a brand new application, you hit Start App, and it's going to present this little window to you. You're always going to write someone on the resident state where they live, not where the application is taken. And then there's this funky box here labeled commission code, and this is key. There'll be two codes that are presented to pretty much 99.9% of all of you. It's either going to be the number 6 and the letter Q, or the letter A and the letter Z. So it'll be 6Q or AZ. And what those commission codes mean is nothing to you but everything to us, because AZ means it goes to American Independent Marketing. 6Q means it belongs to Golden Care USA. So if you ever have a doubt as to whose state you're writing in, remember we have that map we built for you on your own website, where it brings up the whole map of the U.S. AIM states are in blue, Golden Care states are in a kind of a burgundy color, so you can make sure you select the correct state as far as where the commissions flow. And then you hit Start App. Now, I'm not going to start an application. I already have an application that I've already pre-populated. Just have to find it here. Where my Alaska Jack? Here we go. I did a guy named Alaska Jack. So this would be what, like if you did a whole or had a whole bunch of applications pending or in different states of mind, you'd have a whole list of these applications, and you can always go back and look at an old app you've already signed, or look at an app that's partially completed. So I started an application for this Alaska Jack, and he's in Alaska, and don't worry about the commission code I put in. And I want to go through the application and show you a little bit about what's going on. Oops. Correct. Now I want to view it. The application is going to be presented to you on the e-app the same way it's presented to you on the fillable PDF, or the same way it's presented to you on the hard copy paper app. So the first document that is presented to you is the personal worksheet. If you're doing a dual app for a married couple, it will bring up applicant B. If you're not, it's not going to bother you with all the garbage on applicant B. And you just scroll right down the document, completing the information. Now, when you first fire up the personal worksheet, it's going to give you an option here not to disclose. So if the applicant, in fact, it's right here. If I choose not to disclose, it's not going to bring up any of the additional questions and have them bother you in the application. So it'll just be blank. But if I do say yes, and I did complete a full personal worksheet, it brings up the full personal worksheet to go through and complete. So it only shows you what you have to do, or what you need to complete. You can also bounce out to the table.
No.
Go ahead.
What happens if you say no? Did they call them, or what do they do?
No, what Mutual does is Mutual will send a letter out to the client or to the applicant, asking them one more time to say, yes, I chose not to disclose, but I want to move forward anyway. So they just verify the fact that they chose not to disclose and they want to move forward anyway.
Thanks.
And that letter has to come back in before a policy will issue.
Thanks.
You're welcome. General information about your client, just like you're used to doing. You just tab through the different windows. Actually, it's a little more straightforward, Diane, than doing the fillable PDF, where sometimes it gets out of sync. This is pretty much in sync as far as completing information. And again, if I'm not going to go through every single form, but I am going to go to a couple of different areas where I give you a couple of examples of the health insurability questions. Like, for example, in the first section of health questions on the application, remember, this is the section where if you answer yes to any question, you cannot pass go and do not collect $200. Just kick the app back out. This application is not a smart app. It's robust, but it's not smart. So it will allow you to answer a question incorrectly, and all it's going to do is bring up a warning. It says if you answered yes to the over 65 and haven't had a physical, etc., you're not supposed to go forward, but it's not going to kick you out. It's going to allow you to continue on with the application, even though you've been warned that this answer cannot be a yes, as an example. The only exception to questions on this initial section of the application, whether it be a hard copy, fillable PDF, or the e-app, the very last question about currently being on disability Mutual of Omaha will accept an application from retired military that are on a VA disability, as long as that VA disability is less than 50%. In that scenario, you would answer this question yes and attach an explanation as to what the makeup of the VA disability is. Primary care information, pretty straightforward. The nice thing about the e-app is it does carry information forward in the application, so you only have to type the applicant's name in once. It'll carry that forward throughout the application as an example. This is the page where you fill in the primary care information, and then are you on any meds? I said no, but if I had said yes, it would present the windows that need to be completed around the first medication. And now if you're on another one, you just check the box and it'll bring up yet another window. So again, it doesn't bother you with stuff that you don't have to worry about completing. When you get to, so you have you're all familiar with the application of Mutual of Omaha. You've got the insurability questions, you've got the yes and no's that require explanations if you have a yes. Again, those fields are just like on the paper act where they're blanks, but if you had an all no's, it wouldn't even present that information to be completed. So it doesn't fuzzy up the app on you. When you get to the actual benefit selections page, it's going to ask you if you're selling the secure or the custom, and if you tell it custom versus secure, it's only going to present you the custom pages to fill in the benefit selection. It's not going to make you skip over the secure to get to the custom, as an example. Premium. I want to spend a minute here. The very first question on this page is, do you want conditional insurance? The only way you can get conditional insurance with Mutual of Omaha is if you collect money. If you're not collecting money, the date of issue of the policy, more times than not all cases, and I'll explain that in a second, the application effective date is going to be the issue date. And that is true of quarterly mode, semi-annual mode, or annual mode. So no premium with app, those three modes, the effective date of the policy is always going to be the date of issue. If you're doing monthly bank draft, you're requesting monthly bank draft, but again, you collect no premium with the application. There is no temporary insurance in effect on the policy. However, you can request the effective date of the policy to be the date of the application. What Mutual will do is the day the policy issues is they'll do the initial draft for 1 month's premium, and that might not pay that policy current. So there still will be a bill that comes with the policy to you to collect a certain amount of premium to bring that premium current so that the ongoing drafts will keep the policy current. Now, Mutual also has the ability, with authorization from you, they can do a special draft by a phone call to you to draft that initial 1 or 2 months premium, whatever is required to pick up at delivery to bring that current. So you don't have to actually collect a check from your client. They can do a special draft if you get permission from your client to request that special draft. Any questions on that before I go any further?
To request a special draft, is that simply a written statement from the client, or do you guys have a form?
No, you just have to make a phone call to the service office to accomplish that.
Okay.
Because the service office is going to assume that you have permission from the client to request that special draft be made.
So if we do the special draft, like for the 2 months, then that will give them the temporary insurance, and it will be date of application.
No. Their effective date of their policy is going to be the date of application, but they did not have temporary insurance.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So in California,
those are basically two different discussions. There's the temporary insurance discussion, which requires you to pick up premium, and then there's the monthly draft that allows you to request an effective date of the date of application.
If there's no money sent in with the paperwork or with the e-app, does it still lock in the health?
No, they can underwrite you right up to the date of issue.
Okay.
If there's no money with the application, because there's no temporary insurance. If there is money with the application, they cut off underwriting on the day of the app.
In California, In California, can we collect more than 1 month? I thought it was only allowed to be 1 month in California.
California, you can only collect 1 month, regardless of mode of payment. But again, if you collect no premium and you're requesting a quarterly, semi-annual, or annual mode payment, it's going to be the date of issue. If you collect 1 month and they're doing a monthly bank draft, you can request the effective date to be the date of application, and you can bind coverage with that 1 month period.
Okay, so we just ignore that little yes, and it's not even 2 months to just put in, and then number 3 is the 1 month premium, correct?
Right, yeah, California's unique. You can only collect 1 month, regardless of mode of payment.
If you're paying annual, what's the minimum deposit?
At least a month's premium. The application is going to say 2 months minimum, but the company, if you want to bind coverage, 1 month's premium will bind coverage.
I'm a little confused. What's the difference between the conditional and then if it starts from the date of the application? I'm mixed up a little bit.
Okay, the conditional receipt is what gives a person temporary insurance.
Got it.
So if you collect premium and there is a temporary insurance agreement, in fact, you have bound coverage from the date of the application. You're not required to request. If you do collect premium, you can still request the effective date to be the date of issue versus the date of application. It's strictly up to you and your client as to what date you want the effective date to be if you collect premium.
Okay, I got you. All right.
What you can no longer do, though, and mutuals put their foot down on this, is collect premium with an application to bind coverage, select the date of application, and then request to have the effective date moved up when the policy is issued. They're no longer allowing you to do that. So if you select the date of application on the application with money, that is going to be the effective date. Holds no bar, no exceptions made at all.
Okay.
Are we doing okay? Okay. So you've gone through all the application. You've gone through the lapse notice, the agreements, acknowledgments. You go to the producer statement, standard fare. Did you witness the app? Blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. If you said no, like for example, you're on a join me session, you just check no and just say I did an electronic meeting or internet meeting with the client or over the phone or whatever. That's perfectly fine. Now, a few of you have expressed a concern down here in the producer statement as far as typing your own personal Social Security number in while your client's looking at the application. So you can make up a number, and I'll show you right at the very end how you can go back and you can edit this one more time after everybody has signed the application. So you can put all ones in there. If you're not cool about letting your client see your social number, you can fake it in the beginning and then clean it up at the end. So I've completed my application, and now I'm ready to have signatures done.
Dave?
Yes.
I have a question. Can you bring up the conditional receipt?
Sure.
I was playing in the sandbox earlier this week. I have a question about that.
Yeah, and they vary. Some states have a temporary insurance agreement, and some states have...
Well, my question, you may have already answered this, but when you bring up the conditional receipt, it asks how much is collected, and the total premium on what I looked at was only 1 month for one of the applicants. I did a dual application. I was playing, and what came up was only 1 month for one of the applicants when it came to total premium. When it came to the total premium on there.
Well, that's a number you type in. It's not a number that's calculated.
No, because I didn't. I'm trying to remember how the heck I did this. I have to go back to it, because what I was saying is the very first thing we put in is the premium amount back on the personal worksheet. And if it's monthly, my first question was, why couldn't that just be pre-populated with like the 2 months? I think you just answered that in the thing about the premium and the EFT and the conditional receipt or not sending it in. But the numbers didn't work out when I did it. And I should have taken
I
it.
will,
I should have kept it.
why don't you
Yeah.
do me a favor and hook up with me after this call, and I can link
I will
up
do
with the
that.
gentleman at
Yeah.
the home office, and we can work out what happened to you.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a question.
Fire away.
Why do they need our Social Security number? They've got our agent number, and our agent number is tied into
Good
our
point.
Social Security number. So why do they need it again?
Because it's Mutual of Omaha. I've heard it all. I mean,
Hello,
it's
can
the
you
only
hear me?
company out there requesting a social number, blah, blah, blah. I mean, but
Hello,
it
can you
is what
hear
it
me?
is right now. They require the social number on the producer statement.
Okay,
But
can you hear
they
me?
have given you an out. Like I mentioned, you'll see the out for not typing in your real life number on that producer statement in front of your client. Okay, ready to move on? We're going to move into signing this puppy. So I click the button Request Signatures, and it brings up this little window here. This is the client. There'd be two clients here if it was applicant A, applicant B, so you have to go through for each applicant to sign, and then you sign afterwards. So I'm going to request that good old Alaska Jack sign this application. But I can't sign it yet because you haven't given them all the leave behind materials. So you have to go through this little process. It's a little time-consuming process of opening these two documents, the first being a rather large PDF, 147 pages, but it has the outline of coverage, all those things you know, the NAIC Shopper's Guide, the Guide to Medicare. It's all in one big giant PDF. So this is the time when you can catch up on the small talk with your client, ask how the kids are doing, the grandkids, all that kind of stuff, because it takes about a couple of minutes for this thing to paint up on your screen. And all Mutual is looking for is for this document to open. They need no proof that you've given this to your client, but they do facilitate different ways you can get it to your client. And once it gets open, I'll show you that. This is a standard PDF. So once it's open, it'll bring up a little window down here. You can hit the Save button. You can save it as a PDF on your desktop. Maybe put your client's name on it to label it. And you could email that off to your client. But all Mutual wants you to do is to get to this point. And you've opened it. So we've opened the first one. And now we're going to open the second one, which is a lot quicker. It's only a two-pager. This is the consent form to move forward with electronic signatures. Again, you can make a PDF of this puppy and email it off to your client so they have it for their records. So once I've opened both those documents, now I can click on I agree to consent to use electronic signatures, and I agree to sign my application for insurance. So this is where it gets a little bit fun. You don't have to scroll through the whole application to get this job done. You just click on Next Signature. It takes you to the next page requiring a signature. You click on the sign box, and it says digitally signed by Alaska Jack. It's got the date already on there, the time, and the IP address that made the signature happen. And it's perfectly fine with Mutual to accept signatures where the IP address for the applicant and the agent are identical. So I just keep clicking on this. It's only going to take me to the pages of the application that require a signature. So I just basically, on that one, I refuse the 5% compound. Here's the agreement acknowledgement page.
Does this mean you're going to have more doctors want original signatures?
Okay, here's the HIPAA form. Now this is a little bit different. This says digitally signed by Alaska Jack. And what Mutual has found is that the majority of clinics that don't require a special auth are accepting this digital signature. So it's a little bit different signature than what's on the rest of the application. So it has been accepted. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Is there a page for the agent to receive?
Yeah, we're just doing the applicant signatures right now.
Yeah. You know the check doesn't have one in the app, right?
I'm sorry?
What about the authorization for the agent to receive medical information? Is that in here?
We let one person finish before the next question.
Please, I agree.
Okay. I missed that, and I'll catch it on the signature pages for the agent. If not, I'll go back and I'll look at the app. When on the authorization page, when you're completing on the application itself, there's a checkbox you can check there to bring up the agent HIPAA form automatically that the client signs, so that agent HIPAA form goes in with the regular application as well. All right, so now I'm coming through as the agent. I'm done. So this is where you're allowed to do one more edit. And this link right here, click here to edit edit the producer statement without affecting the signature process. Because once an application is signed, either by you or the applicant, you can no longer make any edits. If you made a mistake, you got to start over. Or submit a separate page with corrections on it. Once it's signed, it's done. So I've clicked on that link, and now I'm back on the producer page, and I can put my real number in. So once the application is
you signed everywhere.
Pardon me?
You said. I'm sorry, I can't. This echoes making me crazy.
I know.
You signed everywhere, but you hit edit and you still could get in.
Yeah, the application won't let you complete itself unless you signed everywhere where it's required to have a signature.
Then how did you get back into edit?
I hit this edit button right here.
Okay, so that's that one time, and that's it.
That's it.
Okay.
So once you've done your final edit, if you want, you can send an attachment with the application. If you already have a check from the applicant, you can make a picture of the check, and that could be your attachment. If you already have a Kaiser special authorization form signed by the applicant, you can make it an attachment. The limitation is it has to be one PDF. There's no limit to how many pages can be in that PDF. If you want to type up a narrative about your client and attach it with the application, that's where you would supply that as well. This doesn't mean you can't submit ongoing information after the application is submitted to Mutual of Omaha. But if you wanted to send something in right away, like maybe you have a set of recent labs or whatever it is, this is your chance to do that. But again, it's limited to one PDF, but multiple pages. So once you're done and you're comfy, you hit the submit to back office. And what that does, it sends it either to us here at AIM or to Golden Care. We give it a cursory look, and within 10 minutes it's submitted to the home office. And the way that application will appear to you, if you went back to view applications, it would say that your application is in review. So in review means that we have it or Golden Care has it. Once we submit it to the home office, it's going to say submitted. And then you can view it on Mutual of Omaha's website under your pending business, or like I said, contact us here or contact the folks at Golden Care.
Dave, you take an application from a client. They want to send you the check afterwards. How do we, I mean, we don't want to submit it at that time, or should we submit it?
Okay, that's right. You do not have to have a check with the app or even a copy of a check with the application. If you mark in the application you collected premium, you can submit the check after the app. And I would wait, if you're going to submit it directly to Mutual, I would wait until you see a policy number assigned to the case, and then make sure that policy number is prominent on some kind of cover document with the check you send in. The check just has to be there sometime between the day the app showed up and the day before the policy issues. So no problem with money chasing the app. Most of you are already doing it today using a fillable PDF and submitting that fillable PDF in an email or a fax, and then mailing the check behind it. That's perfectly fine. It will not stop underwriting.
Gotcha. Okay.
Hey, I can't wait to listen to this tape.
This is going to be a wild recording to listen to.
Hey, what are you doing is state commissions being another agent.
Oh, I couldn't hear that question. Would you mind repeating that question, please?
Sure. What do you do in a situation where you're splitting commissions with another agent?
Okay, I'm going to guess you're talking about splitting business?
Yeah.
On the producer statement, there's a place there where you can click on to add another producer to split business. Just like there is in the paper app.
Okay.
I just, the app I did, I was all by my lonesome. I'm hogging all the commission for myself. So I said, no, I'm not splitting with anybody. But it gave me a choice there to click if you're splitting, and you can lay out the percent you're splitting if it's something different than 50-50.
Dave, if you just want to save the app, you don't want to submit it yet, will it automatically save?
Yeah, what I want to do, if you get it all signed, but you just don't want to hit the go button yet, just walk away. Log off, get off of Omaha's website, go around your merry way, come back 2 weeks later, and you're ready to go. You go back into Mutual Omaha's e-app and click on the View Applications button. It'll bring up that application. It'll show status is signed. You click on to view that application. It'll bring this very same window open, and then just hit the Submit to Back Office button.
Great.
Or you could have got an application completely done, but you ran out of time and they couldn't sign it. Oh, I want to tell you that. You have another option for getting signatures. Say you lose your internet link and you lost your join session. So, and your client does not want to give you permission to sign the application for them. This signing, when you bring up the request for signatures, it's going to give you another option to sign or email. And if you hit the email button, the system is going to send an email to your client because you've already given the system their email address with a link to click on to do the e-signature process from the comfort of their own home. And I have a copy of what that email looks like. It's kind of small, but it would have your name here instead of test agent. It would have your name here, like Diane Steves at paperlesssolutions.net. So you can tell your client to expect to get an email from you, but at a different suffix than what they're used to seeing from you. And then it's going to have a link here to click on. And when they open that link, it's going to ask them to verify some information like date of birth, address and phone number, I believe. And then it will take them right to that same process where they hit next signature and sign it, next signature and sign it. And when they've finished, an email will be sent back to you notifying you that your client has signed the application. You don't have to wait for your client to sign the application before you sign it. You can sign the application before the applicant signs.
I have another question about when you do the special draft. We just get all the routing number and all that stuff, and then we call. The bank accepts that from you without an actual signature.
As far as I know, Mutual is set up. If you've already requested a bank draft and you've authorized Mutual to draft your account, there's a mechanism in place where Mutual can reach out to request a special draft at an abnormal amount of money. By them reaching out to the bank to ask for more money, they're assuming that they already have permission from the policyholder or the account holder to make that special draft.
Okay, and then so there's no need, we don't need to get them to fax us a copy of a deposit slip or anything.
No, because you've already gathered that information on the application if they're doing bank drafts.
Oh, okay. But that would be just for, I'm thinking just for the initial payment.
Yeah, this echo is just killing me. I'm sorry. It's got to be something at your guys' end as far as if you got me on speakerphone on a smartphone or something. Because I DC'd my headset before we even started.
Actually, I don't have an echo. Oh.
Wow, it just went away. Okay, I know some people typed in questions. A couple of them around about the echo. Everybody kind of, yeah, we all heard the echo. I think I answered the question that if you collect premium and you request the date of the application to be the effective date, that locks in health as of that date. So you have temporary insurance. So if something were to happen to you during the time period that you're being underwritten, and it was not a pre-X condition that was going on prior, you could basically get a policy issued and immediately go on claim. So that's the whole idea behind collecting premium and doing temporary insurance. Any other questions about the EAP? Yeah, a lot of you have already done it. I'm proud of you for doing it. Christine Doyle down in California has done, I think, 6, if not 8 already. She describes her experience as being fast, easy, and fun. So I hope you take advantage of this tool early and often. It's one more easy button. We're always here at Aim and Go and Care looking for easy buttons for you guys because we know exactly what you're going through out there in the field. We are right there with you. So whatever tool we can develop or whatever thing we can put in place or any new widget we can think of to make your life easier, we're always on the hunt for those type of things. So please let us know what, if anything else, we can be doing to help you folks out. I'm finished unless anybody else has any questions. Wow, all of a sudden it got really quiet.
Thank you.
All right, well, thanks everybody for allowing me to occupy part of your Friday morning. Hope everybody has a fantastic weekend, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Thank you, Dave.
You're welcome. Bye.